Hey everybody, I thought I would share with you some records I got today. Had quite a productive night at the casino the other night and decided I was going to treat myself to some records. So this morning I headed out to Rebel Records, which is in Courtland, Ontario. Tiny little place, almost exclusively new vinyl. Great owner, super nice guy. Knows his stuff, very passionate. He keeps his prices as aggressive as he can, although new vinyl's just expensive pretty much across the board now, with a couple exceptions that we might talk about. And I actually worked a trade today. I traded a Husker Du album, King Gizzard album, a Cryptic Slaughter album, and one other one. And got a decent amount of trade value. I thought we were really close. He was at $90, I was at $100. All prices in this video will be Canadian, by the way, in trade value. So we just kind of met in the middle at 95, and then I added some extra to that and got myself a handful of albums. So let's see what I got and why I got them. Let's grab the first one here. I'm not looking. First one, and we're going to show prices, talk about them, and you can debate whether that's a good price or a bad price. So AC/DC 74 Jailbreak. Had this on cassette, had this on CD, never had it on vinyl, and I'm kind of not a big fan of buying wildly popular albums like this, ones that you can find in like anywhere in the used section of most record shops. But this one is famously bad condition. Every time I find one out in the wild for $15 or $20, whatever, I get all excited. I throw open the sleeve and it's trash. These records, these AC/DC records, got listened to death. So I stepped up on this one, spent $35 on it, but I'll listen to this. I don't even know how many times, but I don't know if that's going to come through the proper way around. But Jailbreak, Baby Please Don't Go, like, these are classics. So anyways, and I like music that I feel sounds better on vinyl than on other formats, and AC/DC is definitely one of those. Driving bass beat, like really steady, simple drum beats. Good stuff. What do we got next? $30. Own this on cassette. Probably owned this on vinyl before when I was a kid. Definitely on CD. You can't beat $30 at this point. I mean, most albums, especially from big bands like this, like you can see $60, $70, $80, $90. What I didn't know, and what Dave, the owner of Rebel Records, was telling me, is that Metallica bought their own pressing plant so that they could keep costs down, kind of cut out the middleman, do what they wanted to do, put out some quality pressings, not have to rely on other people. So they kept the prices down, and all of them, Kill 'Em All, which I already had, $30. This one, $30. Ride Lightning, $30. And Justice for All, $35. So I had to pick from a few different ones. I chose this one. With their new album coming out and a couple of the singles off of it actually kind of hearkening back to the earlier Metallica that I like, kind of got me wanting to have this again, and I didn't have it on vinyl, so now I do. Master of Puppets, one of the greatest metal albums of all time. What do we got next? It's a very metal. This is a very metal selection today. Yes. So I stepped up on this one. I told him, you have 2 copies of this. I'll buy one so that you're not stuck with one. I said, because you'll probably be stuck with the other one forever. Danzig 7. My God, do I love Danzig. He is a very acquired taste. Most people are just like, this sounds like Elvis. which is completely untrue, but I get it. I kind of felt like that when I was a kid too. Limited edition vinyl, 180, nice and heavy. This is the kind of stuff you want to listen to on vinyl. Nice and grimy and bassy and just, yeah, I don't know. This is actually a pretty good album, even though it's like way later in his discography. He's put out much worse stuff than this. This is pretty good. I think this has got Tommy Victor from Prong in it, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, I'd have to look at the lineup again, but this is a pretty good album. 45 bucks. I never spend that much money on an album. That's something I would ask for at Christmas, but because I had some trade value today, I thought it would. Jeez, I got a bunch in here. Next up, okay, so this is Halloween's newest one, 2021. So I stepped up on this one for 45 bucks. So it isn't bad. And this is like a double album. It's got a booklet in there. This puppy's heavy. I did not choose this one today until the very last second. Then I was like, what the hell? I'll go back and get it. I loved Halloween early, like, you know, their earlier stuff in the 80s and their original lineup, loved it. And then it got a little squirrely for me. So the band members started changing. Some of the vocals got not great for me. But then I think Chris Jericho, I heard him going on about this album when it first came out, and he was saying that a couple of the original members came back. So I checked out a song or two off of it, and it sounded a lot like the old stuff that I liked. An acquired taste. Not everybody's going to like this, but if you can appreciate, like, you know, fast technical guitar work and you don't mind some operatic vocals, Halloween's where it's at. So we'll give that one a try. I think I'll enjoy that one. And I think it's like a weird double. It's a mix of like two of the original guys came back and joined the band that's been together since like the early 2000s. So that's kind of neat how they've bridged the old generation and the new generation. Some bands that are that old don't even have any original members left in them. So it'd be interesting to check it. This will probably be my favorite one of the pile. And this one I really stepped up on, but I will listen to this one to death because this is a perfect for the record player record. Corrosion of Conformity. This is Deliverance. And this has a ton of hits on it. I remember when Metallica, quote unquote, started to sell out. I wished that they just sounded like these guys. I was like, if you're going to sell out, then just sound like Corrosion of Conformity, please, because then I will love you forever. But they didn't go this way. This album is a must for anybody who likes hard rock, heavy metal from that whole Metallica, Megadeth generation, but likes it to the kind of, you know, ease into the Caius area of stoner metal. This is a perfect bridge. It has everything, and the songs that were hits are so catchy. Clean My Wounds. What else is it? Heaven's Not Overflowing. Albatross. They're the kind of songs you know and you had no idea who they were. When you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I totally know that song. The vocals are amazing, and it's just a grungy sound to this. This will be excellent on vinyl. I don't know if you can see those titles or not, but I shouldn't have my computer on in the background. But anyways, killer. That'll be my favorite one. I think I got two left here. Okay. So 15 bucks, Armored Saint, March of the Saint. So there's a couple of reasons why I bought this one. First of all, we had tickets to go see W.A.S.P live. So excited. That was a bucket list band for me. Like, they've notoriously canceled or just not toured in Canada or the United States in forever. Finally, they did a United States tour. A lot of positive reviews. And then Blackie Lawless, the singer, hurt his back again, or his back continued to hurt, or whatever. It's been a nagging injury for a long time. And right when it got to the Canada part of the tour, canceled. He had to have surgery. I'm sure they'll come back in 2024, but I just wasn't willing to take the chance, so we're going to get our money back for that. These guys were going to open for them, and I missed Armored Saint somehow when I was growing up. This was just not a band that I ever listened to. I was familiar with them from, like, the, you know, late night video shows and stuff like that, but I would never have known a song to hear it. So I grabbed this because if they do come back and they do tour with W.A.S.P, then I want to know, be a little bit familiar with their sound. So this one, $15, great. It's used, by the way. It says plays very good. It was test played. There are surface marks. So this is another awesome thing about Rebel Records and Dave, is that he's very honest about it. He listens to all his used stuff, gives it very fair grading. I cracked it out of the sleeve. It's been through some wars. We kind of giggled about it, and he ended up giving it to me for $10 instead of 15. So I'll just crank it up and let it play through the skips. You really only hear the scratching in between songs, right? If you crank it up loud enough. So yeah, I don't even know what year this is, but I'm definitely going to say it's one of the earlier ones. Sorry, I'm just not familiar enough with them, but I listened to their newest album in preparation for the concert because I wanted to know at least a little bit of what I was hearing, and it sounded really good. And a lot of these bands from the 80s or 70s, they hit their peaks early, and then everything afterwards was just like miserable, like terrible, usually because they can't find a singer to replace the one that everybody loved. So we'll see. I don't know. A total blind buy, but for $10, whatever. If it's garbage, throw it in the garbage. Last but not least, I think, yep, W.A.S.P. Speaking of W.A.S.P, Eldorado. I own a lot of W.A.S.P. I've owned a lot of W.A.S.P. in my life. Always loved this band. It's kind of like, I mean, W.A.S.P. is hair metal, but it's the dawn of hair metal. And they have a different sound than a lot of the hair metal bands. And when they do a cover, they kill the song. The lyrics are going to be awful on this. Their lyrics have always been basically terrible. This is, I would assume, maybe one of their, I don't want to say worst albums, but this is not one of their more popular albums for sure. He wanted $40 for it. It's orange vinyl. The reason why I stepped up on this one was because I wanted to mix in some blind buys. And I've never been disappointed by a W.A.S.P. album, but also I have never seen this one in the wild ever. I didn't even know this album existed, and like I said, I own a lot of W.A.S.P. So yeah, hopefully this is good. But we've got, of course, Don't Cry, Just Suck is one of the songs. Also Dirty Balls is a song. Cocaine Cowboys is a song. Hot Rods to Hell is a song. Like, this one's not gonna win any awards, I don't think, but whatever. I got more W.A.S.P, so screw it. Sometimes the music doesn't have to be groundbreaking to be fun and good. So that's it. Not a bad haul, eh? That's a good chunk of metal. AC/DC, Metallica, Danzig, Halloween, Corrosion of Conformity, Armored Saint, and W.A.S.P. A few of the ones that I put back were, I put back the first Rage Against the Machine. He had it for $35. That album would get played to death here, but then I started to second guess myself that I actually already had bought it and hadn't listened to it yet. I didn't want to come home and have two. But Dave, the owner, was like, go home, and if you have it, just bring it back, and I'll just give you even value trade on it. Awesome. But that's kind of what made me say, nah, you know what, I'll take a chance on the Halloween one. He also had a couple Danko Jones albums, which I didn't own, and they were inexpensive. I think they were 30 and 35. And Danko Jones stuff would sound, I don't own any on vinyl, but they'd sound amazing on vinyl. So that was one that I had in my hand and put back. What else was there? They had a live Helmet album, but I really only know the one Helmet album, so I just thought it was a little expensive for me to take a chance on. What else did I put back? There was one more. I can't remember what the last one was, but I had to set a limit. I think I had made a list of $540 worth of albums that I wanted, but I didn't want to spend more than 200. With trade, I ended up spending 250. So I still broke my rules a bit, but not bad for 150, 160 bucks in cash and almost 100 in trade. Like, that's an amazingly nice little stack. So anyways, check them out on Facebook, Rebel Records. Owner's name's Dave. He keeps his in-hand list up to date on a regular basis, I think almost weekly. I think he keeps it in like PDF format, so you just message him on Facebook on his page, and then he'll I think he sends it via email, or I can't remember exactly how he sends it, but anyways, he ships all that kind of stuff. So check him out. I hope you enjoyed the records, and keep spinning them. Bye.